I'll call this meeting of the Owensboro Board of Commissioners to order and ask our city clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Bob Glenn.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Debbie Nunley.
Here.
Mayor Ron Payne.
Here.
Commissioner Pam Smithroyd.
Here.
Commissioner Jeff Sanford.
Here. All present. The next item is our invocation and pledge to be led by our city manager, so I would ask everyone to please stand.
I'd ask you to pray with me or practice silent meditation as maybe your practice. Father God, we acknowledge your presence in this community and in these very chambers tonight, Lord. We're so thankful for the rain we've had without the destructive weather. We're so thankful for it. And Lord God, as we prepare to celebrate the anniversary of D-Day, the freedom and liberation of Europe, remember Memorial Day just passed, Lord God. We're so thankful that we had good weather for that event. We're thankful, Father God, for those men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Father God, we ask you to place your hand upon our citizens in this community. We're hard-working people, and I pray your blessings upon them and on our employees, Father God, who toil in the streets, in the offices, our firemen, our policemen who protect us. We just ask your hand of protection upon them, as we do upon our military on foreign battlefields, their families at home. Be with our nation, Lord, our leaders. Protect our democracy, Father, and be with these elected commissioners today as we practice democracy on the local level. In Christ's name we pray, Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Parrish. Commissioners, the next item on our agenda is a proclamation I would like to read. But before I do, I really do want to applaud the Owensboro Public School District for promoting this program, and I'll read this. But I think we all up here know how important reading is. My wife's here, and she would constantly read to our young boys as they were growing up. And we do have our first grandchild who is 6 months old, and she's already started to read to the young lady. So reading is extremely important to all of us. City of Owensboro proclamation. Whereas the Owensboro Public School District recognized statewide literacy statistics indicated only about half of Kentucky's kindergartners are prepared for kindergarten work, and 66% of Kentucky's fourth graders are not reading at grade level. And whereas the Owensboro Public School District has created the Owensboro Reads Initiative to address the learning loss that take place for many students over the summer and to promote community literacy. And whereas as part of this initiative, the Owensboro Public School District initiated the Owensboro Public Schools Literacy Task Force that has created summer programs, camps, and activities that will address one of the causes of students falling behind, the summer period when many students are not engaged in reading or other activities that feed the brain. And whereas the Owensboro Public School District is partnering with the Public Life Foundation to launch a long-term effort to increase literacy not only for children but for all ages. And whereas the Owensboro Reads Initiative is a 30 minutes a day challenge that is free and open to the public, and also part of the national Get Caught Reading campaign that encourages people of all ages to read. Now therefore, I, Ron Payne, Mayor of the City of Owensboro, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim June 1st through June 7th, 2014 as Owensboro Reads Week in Owensboro, and urge all citizens to join me in recognition of this valuable initiative that encourages all of our citizens to read throughout the summer. Signed this third day of June 2014. Dr. Brake is here from the Owensboro Public School System. Dr. Brake, why don't you let me give this to you, and then you're welcome to make any comments or introduce your other members of the school board.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. First of all, I want to take the opportunity to
applaud you for joining in this campaign. This is not just about our school system, it's about our community and the importance that that this effort plays for everyone, adults through preschoolers, through the newborns that Denise is reading to, as you mentioned. I want to recognize we have 3 board members with us tonight: Nancy Eskridge, Dan Griffith, and Kate Lozon. We also have the 2 co-chairs of our initiative, Jenny Mosley, who's the principal of Faust Elementary School, and Elaine Winstead, who's a principal at our high school. And we also have Assistant Superintendent Lisa McCarty with us. So just again, thank you for this. We are looking at lots of different partnerships and outreach to promote this and the business community, the church community, and a lot of different places. So we appreciate your recognition of our efforts.
Dr. Brigg, thank you, and to all of you with the Owensboro public school system, thank you for all that you're doing for our community. Commissioners, with that, we'll go to our first business item, which is to consider approval of the minutes of our meeting dated May 20th, 2014, and I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Second. Any comments, corrections? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Glenn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
The next item, Commissioners, are board appointments. Reappoint Margaret Walton to a 2-year term effective May 12, 2014. To the Dogwood Azalea Neighborhood Alliance, appoint the following members to 2-year terms effective May 15, 2014. Ed Oldham and John DeVito. To the Owensboro Human Relations Commission, appoint Lashima O'Brien to a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2015, and Deborah Posey Turner to a term expiring December 31st, 2016. Do you have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any comments, questions, anyone? Call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is ordinances we have for the second reading, which we will vote on. Counselor?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the Commission. First ordinance is Ordinance 17-2014, an ordinance adopting and approving the annual budget of the City of Owensboro, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2014 and ending June 30th, 2015, and appropriating the revenues to the various departments of the city as set forth herein, publicly read for approval on second reading this 3rd day of June, 2014.
Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Very good. Mr. Parrish, any comments? I know we've had many meetings about this.
Mayor, we're prepared to answer questions.
Very good. Any questions, comments by the commission? Again, I want to commend the staff, Bill, all of you, for the work you put in creating this budget. Anybody from the public? If not, call for the vote.
Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Smithroyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, Counselor.
Ordinance 18-2014, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2013 and ending June 30th, 2014, and amending Ordinance 21-2013 to provide funding from the general fund for the design and other pre-construction cost of a transient dock and additional funds for Owensboro sister cities and regions. Publicly read for approval on second reading this 3rd day of June, 2014.
Do you have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Got a second? Any comments, questions by anyone on the commission? I know we've talked about this last time at length. Mr. Sanford.
Yes. This would be for Angela or Mr. Parrish. I believe last time we talked about it being a break-even situation with the transient dock. Did that include the financing of the $4 million?
I was going by the comment from the consultant that included the $700 and I believe $63,000 in positive cash flow.
Right. So my question would be, if we borrowed 4, usually it's $75,000 per million, so
Right.
that would put us at negative $300,000, correct?
75 to 150, 300. No, we'd still be positive by some 400,000.
And how do you
Because if we borrowed 75,000 times
Right.
4, 300,000, and we had a 700,000 positive economic impact, we'd be $400,000
But I thought
ahead.
last time we said it would be a break even on economic
We-
impact and expense,
No, we talked about the operation of the
Right.
facility itself.
right?
We said separately, or as part of that, because of the economic turnover of dollars in the community, the positive impact would be over $700,000. That's what the consultants tell us by folks staying at the hotels, eating in our restaurants, doing that sort of business.
Okay, all right. That was question one. Question two, how sure are we about the grants if we do this?
I have no assurity of the grant, but we are told by the consultant we think we're in good shape for that.
Okay.
But this action, Mayor, if I could, this action allows us to apply for the grant. This isn't for the construction. This process allows us to apply for the grant.
Okay, it's just my opinion, and everybody is up here is different. I think that we've done a great job with downtown and what we've been doing. I just feel like we're trying to eat the elephant in one bite, in my opinion. But I think downtown is I've actually seen it for myself, talked to a lot of the business owners, and they're doing quite well. I just think sometimes you just have to slow down just a bit, and that's kind of where I'm at with this situation. And I'd really like to see the private sector get involved in this, and that's just some things that have been mentioned in the past, the private sector and the boat dock. But anyway, that's where I'll leave it.
Commissioner, my response to that is that we're not eating the entire elephant tonight. Otherwise, we'd be appropriating $6 million and not $500,000. I would say this, though, and we've talked about this many times, and I've heard from a lot of people throughout the community that one of the things they're fearful of is that we have done a lot moving Owensboro forward and that somehow we're going to stop. And I think it's been my position, and I have said that, and this is the way I've conducted myself as mayor. We've got to keep progressing at all fronts, you know, whether it's the Advanced Technology Center, whether it's this interstate issue, whether it's continue to promote Owensboro. We have got to continue to move this community forward, and we are seeing great dividends from our activity thus far. And I can remember when we started a lot of the work downtown. In fact, a lot of work other places, such as the stormwater program. I can remember when we started the stormwater program, there was a lot of concern about, because the price tag on that was $60 million. I was city manager when we started that. And today, we did a groundbreaking, and Thursday we're going to do another one that will complete 75% of that work. There are some times you just have to keep moving forward. I don't know at this point in time all the answers as far as that boat dock goes. I do agree there is a potential maybe we can get the private sector involved in working with us to operate that facility, and it's something I know the city staff is looking at as we speak. But we've got to keep it going. For years, there was boating activity at the foot of Frederick Street. It's why we're here. I said that last time. And I firmly believe there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come down that river and visit this community, just like there's a lot of people today coming from everywhere to visit this community. And if you don't think there's not, I would challenge you to do this. Look at the license plate in front of you as you drive down the street. It amazes me where all of these license plates are from. So we've got a lot going on in the community, but let me tell you, we still have a lot to do. And that's all I have to say. Anybody else? Commissioner Glenn.
Yeah, I just have two quick comments. Looking at this, I see both sides of this issue, but the biggest thing is with a project like this, my understanding is we have to get it in the pipeline. It's not like you snap your fingers and there's a boat ramp dock down there 6 months from now. And if we don't get started on this, when you go through the Corps of Engineer approvals, you go through a number of the different levels of approval you have to get in studies, this is going to take years. This isn't something you're going to do next week and you have a boat dock. The second thing is that the current facilities that we have are great for recreational boaters. but they do not serve some of the other types of flotilla that might come into the community if we have this available. And the other is other cities, Dubuque, Iowa, a number of other communities have built far more grandiose facilities like a full-scale marina. We studied 3 options. This was the least expensive and most financially responsible option to add value to what we already have downtown. And so, you know, that's my feeling on it. Now, having said that, do I like spending $500,000 to do this? No, but I believe that if we can get grant money from other sources to do this, then that's money well spent in the long term. And it is a long-term project.
Anyone else up here? Yes, ma'am.
You know, our biggest amenity downtown is not, I'm sorry, Mayor, the park, but it is the river. It's the river. And it's another mode of transportation that we have just forgotten about, really. I mean, we have bikers who want to bike and have their racks downtown. We've got people who want to park and they want to be close and they want a parking garage downtown. We've got sidewalks for people, but we don't have a way for people to enjoy that river and park by the downtown like we do with the other modes of transportation. So that's why, in my opinion, this is an important exercise that we need to go through to see how we can accomplish this to, again, optimize that beautiful river.
I'd like to say, I mean, I would commend you, Mr. Mayor, on everything you pushed forward. Most things I've gone along with. My concern is the finances, because as you build something, you do incur costs that are long-term. And I've been around boating since I was 6 years old. We have a boat and we have a dock with 8 slips. And these things are expensive to operate. It's not, and it's ongoing. We'll pay for this for 20 years, but in 10 years, you're going to have to reinvest again. And we probably won't be sitting here, but someone will. And that's why I'm so adamant about, and you did mention the private sector may get involved. And I really hope that's what happens, because that's kind of where that I'd like to see this go.
Very good. Anyone else? If not, open it up to the public for any comment. Yes, sir.
I'm Mark Caslin. I live at 2516 Lauren Court. Mayor, Commissioners, 2 weeks ago I came in to express my concern over the proposed boat dock. And of course today I'm here to do the same. We're led to believe that, you know, we need to act on this immediately. This isn't so, as the boating infrastructure grant has been in effect since 1998 and has been awarded every year. So it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. The maximum amount that can be awarded to anybody is $1.5 million. This federal money has many regulations, and one of them is it must accommodate transient boats 26 feet or greater in length. And rarely do we see such boats on the Ohio River. I know we see a lot of smaller boats, but rarely also do these people dock and come up and get rooms, and I don't think that would happen even if we had the dock. Another concern is the $6.5 million. I checked with the other cities that are in line to receive the grant, and the 2 highest are Savannah, Georgia, and which has a price tag set for theirs at $3,092,000, and the second in line is Cincinnati, Ohio, which is set at $3 million even. And
could you wrap it up there, Mr. Caslin?
Okay, yeah, just a minute. I've got 3 minutes.
No, the timer went off. That's at the end of the meeting.
It wasn't.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, Savannah is 2.5 times larger than Owensboro, and Cincinnati is 5 times larger. Yet they're spending less than half of what this city is projecting on spending for a boat dock. And as far as boat docks, we have one that Mr. Matt Borman has put up and maintained for 6 years. And without it, this city would not have had any kind of boating recreation here near the city at all. And he should definitely be included, or at least, you know, contacted as far as having some kind of input on any kind of boat dock. Anyway, overall, I believe that this is an expense that justifies that's going to have very few people that get to use it. I don't think it's going to be any kind of a money maker. If it goes through, I hope I'm proven wrong. But anyway, we need to bring the private investors in more often and quit this, just throwing taxpayers' money at whatever project that somebody deems worthy. Anyway,
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name's Larry Masters. I live at 3755 Kurtzville, Delaware Road. Last year I was riverfront chairman at French Island Marina, which is a marina on the Indiana side, 9 miles downriver from here. And we have 880 feet of boat dock rental space. We rent that at $18.70 per foot, which is $16,456 a year. We have like 20 boats on that dock. We sell $8,000 worth of gas a year, and members of the club get it for 25 cents over whatever we pay for it at that time. Non-members pay 75 cents. So we basically average 50 cents a gallon. So that's $4,000. We've got 150 members at $102 a year. It's $15,300. So the total for our marina over there is $35,756. Out of all the boaters around, it's the only place to buy gas around here at this present time. And that's all that we sell. We only make $4,000 a year on gas. I don't know if y'all know what loopers are or not, but that's like transit boaters who may travel the Atlantic Ocean and come around and come up through Nashville and around and make a loop. Well, out of all these people, transit boaters and whatnot, we had 15 transit boaters last year that came to the marina and stayed overnight, and some of them bought gas and some didn't. Well, basically, $35,000 is our budget for a major boat club. I just wanted to put that into the information.
Very good. Thank you. I might say that, we hired someone to look at this, a consulting firm, and they spent quite a bit of time, and they had a lot of public hearings where we had people had the opportunity to provide their input into what we're talking about doing here. So, and I really hope you gentlemen over there had an opportunity to do that with that consulting group. Anybody else? If not, call the vote.
Commissioner Smithroyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford?
No.
Commissioner Glenn?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes, motion passes. Next item, Counselor, we have ordinances for first reading. We don't vote on them, but we can discuss.
Ordinance 19-2014, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2013 and ending June 30th, 2014, and amending Ordinance 21-2013 to provide funding and associated expenditure budget for indoor tennis court facility from the Tennis Association, to fund the budget and retirement contingencies, and to provide for unfunded projects, introduced and publicly read on first reading this third day of June 2014.
Very good. We do not vote. Mr. Parrish, why don't you just run through this?
Yes, Mayor, there are 3 elements to this budget amendment. The first is 14-36. As the Commission is aware, we've entered into a public-private partnership with the Tennis Association to build an indoor-outdoor tennis complex off of Biddle Road. As private partners, the Tennis Association has agreed to fund $500,000 for this project. This budget amendment allows the city to accept that $500,000 and then spend it towards the project. 14-37 is end-of-year adjustments to balance our budget. There are excess funds from some departments that will be transferred to the budget contingency, making up that $750,000 deficit we start every budget year with, and it returns $194,000 from general government to the specific departments to make up the retirement contingencies for folks who have retired this year. The third element is 14-38. It's your authorization to allow the Facilities Maintenance Fund to spend $55,000 on projects that had to be completed through the year that were unanticipated. For example, a lot of this is heating and air conditioning work at the city-owned portion of the Municipal Fine Arts Museum. Pool slide, we lost our diving board. We're replacing it with a pool slide at Chautauqua Park. And all the work that was done on the second floor of City Hall for the Human Relations Commission and the Sister Cities program to bring them in. So these are repairs unanticipated but required throughout the course of the year.
Very good. And I might point out on this budget contingency and this retirement contingency, this is something we go through every year. We know a certain number of people are going to retire in the city, but we just don't know who they are. So we budget for that, and then when we know at the end of the year, we allocate this money. And the same thing is for the budget contingency. We've had this since I was finance director, that we know that some of these departments are going to underspend. We take that into consideration when we prepare the budget. And then when we get close to the end of the year, we allocate that contingency to those that actually came under their budget. So it's just something we do every year at this time. Any comments, questions by the commission here? Anybody from the public? I will say that, and I made a comment over in front of the Hampton Inn just a few minutes ago about the retirement or the art program we're doing, and the fact that that is again a partnership we've got with a lot of the merchants downtown, and I hope that art program does spread throughout the city. But we are very serious about trying to enter into partnerships with groups, businesses in this community to get things done. In fact, we couldn't do a lot of the things we're doing without those partnerships. And I hope we will explore opportunities in regards to this boat dock. But tonight, again, with this budget amendment, we recognize another one, and that is with the Tennis Association and their contribution and their hard work and their money to help us build that indoor tennis facility. So we do, every opportunity we get, seek those partnerships out. Anyone else up here? Anyone? The public? Okay, that was first reading. We don't vote on it till next time, so we'll go to the next item. Counselor?
Ordinance 20-2014, an ordinance authorizing and directing the rebate of 1% of all occupational license fees due and payable to the City of Owensboro, Kentucky by ordinance from the salaries, wages, and other compensation to be paid to new employees hired over the baseline by On-Time Fab Incorporated, provided said company meets the criteria set forth in its application for incentives under the Kentucky Business Investment Program. Introduced and publicly read on first reading this third day of June 2014.
Very good. First reading, we don't vote. Madison, why don't you explain what we're doing here?
Thank you, Mayor. Madison Silver, the Greater Owensboro Economic Development Corporation, talking about those partnerships. We're probably the largest public-private partnership in the community, representing the city, the county, the state, and about 27 private businesses, and we so much appreciate the partnership that we have here with the City of Owensboro. On-Time Fab actually went before the KEDFA board in October of 2012, and to give you an idea of the timeline of how these things work, there are 4 phases to incentives. The first is the application phase. You go before KEDFA. KEDFA then gives you conditional approval. You've got about 2 years after that in order to become final on the project that you've proposed to the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority. That's where we are right now as they're going final. And then before they go active, which they have another couple of years before they go active, they spend that time ramping up so that they make sure that they maximize the number of years that they receive that incentive. So right now we're going to the final stage. Their investment in this expansion for them will essentially double their capacity. It's a $224,000 investment, and they're looking at adding another 20 employees. They're about halfway there right now. So they're on track to probably meet a good activation date here in the near future. But this is our 1% that we join with the state of Kentucky as they offer 3% back, and that is something that's required in order for them to get that 3%, that we have a 1% contribution as well from here. So that's where we are this evening, and I'm here to entertain any questions you might have.
Any questions of Madison? Again, I think growing the economy, we need to do everything we can to help these people expand their businesses, because we know Most economic growth occurs locally.
That's right. Mostly comes from existing industries.
Right. Madison, thank you.
Thank you.
For all the work you do.
Thank you.
All right, with that, unless there's comments from the public, we'll go to municipal orders. We will vote on these.
Municipal Order 10-2014, a municipal order authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute an interstate emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement between the City of Owensboro, Fiscal Court of Davis County, and Board of Commissioners of Spencer County, Indiana, under the terms of which each party shall, upon request, provide mutual aid and assistance to each other in rendering fire, rescue, and emergency services to the citizens. Introduced and publicly read for approval this third day of June 2014.
Do we have a motion for approval?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Before I introduce the fire chief to explain exactly what we're doing here, I'd like to recognize a couple of people. Al Perdue. Al is here from the Indiana Emergency Management, and also Stephanie Melton. Stephanie is here from Spencer County Emergency Management. We'd like to welcome both of you to Owensboro and City Hall. Thank you for coming. Chief?
Thank you, Steve Mitchell, Fire Chief. Mayor and Commission, you were talking earlier about Owensboro moving forward and having a regional presence, and that regional presence actually goes to the emergency services as well. Our friends across the river in Spencer County have been great partners for us recently in the last few years as Tim Ross grows our special events, the focus on downtown, the river, the air show. They've been great partners with us in that. What this does is solidify that agreement with them. It becomes more solid, and we're going to expand that to other emergency services as well. So we'll be helping them on special events. They help us on special events, and in the event of a disaster, we'll be there for each other.
Great. Very good. Any questions, comments? Anyone in the public? Anyone? If not, call for the vote.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright?
Aye.
Motion passes. Commissioners, next item is the city manager's items. First is the financial report. Mr. Parrish, recognize Angela. Angela?
Yes, Mayor and Commission. I'm happy to give you the financial report for the month ended April 30th, 2014. Our general fund revenues through April 30, 2014 of $37,681,256 were $587,315 or 1.5% under budget. This is primarily due to property taxes and occupational license fees. The general fund expenditures of $36,656,641 were $1,579,018 or 4.1% under budget. This is primarily due to salaries and benefits and some timing in our maintenance and outside services. The expenditures in our sanitation fund, the Your Community Vision Fund, the transit fund were under budget primarily due to timing of outside services and capital outlay. All of our other funds reported amounts in line with or under budgeted expenditure projections through the end of the month. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Very good. Angela, I just noticed that, like on page 9, the general fund, the operating excess at this point in time is actually positive $1 million. And I guess we budgeted a $3 million deficiency, and we have 2 months left to go. Are we going to miss that $3 million deficiency, or?
Well, we usually have carryovers, typically for some street work due to the seasonal activity, and so I anticipate some carryovers there. And if you noticed in our occupational on the graph in the financials, we're having some turn back and some come back on that, some rebound. So
okay.
It's still a little early to say.
Okay, but that would be a $4 million swing in 2 months. So I'll wait. I'll give you 1 more month, and then we'll.
She's not going to answer the ground.
She's not going to answer, is she? But it's looking pretty good so far. But we'll wait and see. Any questions, comments from anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion we receive and file.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Glenn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley?
Yes.
Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, Bill.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm asking the Commission to consider tonight the following personnel appointments. Teresa Partridge, regular, full-time, non-civil service appointment as parts clerk effective June 10th, and Brandon Abel, regular, full-time, non-civil service appointment as a driver effective June 10th.
Have a motion for approval?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Questions? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley,
Yes.
Mayor Payne,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Motion passes. Anything else, Mr. Parrish?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Comments from elected officials. I'll start with Commissioner Sanford.
I believe the state girls fast pitch softball tournament's here this weekend, so should be a lot of people in town. So a lot of our businesses should be busy. So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
Commissioner?
Just ask people to be careful about the young people running around, school's out, and the park is packed. And so when you go down the Veterans Boulevard or any of the other parks, please watch out for the young people.
Very good. Commissioner Glenn?
Yes, I just have one quick item, and that is, to concur with Commissioner Sanford, the state softball tournament's here, and I think we should wish Apollo luck. They got all the way through, and they've made it. They're a representative. But I also want to thank Tim Ross and congratulate our city staff. The musical events on the riverfront, I've been down to a couple of them. I saw the mayor there one night. They're well attended, they're outstanding, and they have the best price for anybody. They're free. So I can't emphasize enough, take advantage of these free events that the city's organized on your behalf, because they're quality. They're not just people up there playing to play. There's some really nice talent out there that's on our riverfront.
Very good. Mayor Pro Tem?
Just wanted to bring to everybody's attention that our largest private nonprofit business in the community, Owensboro Health, kicked off its Harvest Market today and went out there, and it was packed with people. They have it's a farmers market. They have a lot of the farmers from throughout the community, vendors. It was just it's something that's going to be occurring every Tuesday. It's available for the employees, the visitors of the families who are there, even some of the patients if they can make it out there, in the community as well. So it's another way to promote health within this community. So I hope you all will take advantage of it and go out and visit.
That's good. Anyone from the public, any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, call for the vote.
Mayor Payne,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanford.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nunley.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.